Hey, welcome again to Just Cook with Michael. Today, after watching this video, you will know how to make gnocchi from scratch. Simple dish, cheap dish, and it's really not that hard to make. I got this recipe from my daughter when she was studying in Italy. She went to some cooking classes there, brought back the recipe. Today, I'm gonna make two different types of gnocchi. One with purple potatoes and one with Yukon Gold. You virtually could use any potato. They're all gonna be slightly different. Obviously, the purple ones are gonna have fantastic color. Yukon Golds are known for their flavor also, but they're kind of considered a medium waxy potato. If you wanna use the Idaho potato or the russet, that's probably gonna be your fluffiest gnocchi. Key concepts to making gnocchi are using a ricer, being very gentle when you mash it. So you definitely don't want to put it in a food processor, that'll turn it gummy. So you either want to use a potato masher or a ricer. Keep it spread out. Don't overwork the potatoes at all when you're incorporating the flour. Try to be gentle. Think of folding egg whites into a souffle. You know, you're slowly mixing these in. You're not kneading it like you would a yeast bread. And from research I did, one of the key things is not having to add a lot of flour. Obviously, if you bake a potato, it's not going to absorb any water at all, and it'll dry it out a little bit. So that's the technique I'm going with. Also, when I rice the potatoes, I'll rice them onto a cookie sheet pan to let some of that steam evaporate out of it. Another key concept always with potatoes when you're mashing them is to mash them when they're still hot. Don't let them cool down because that tends to make them gummy also. So let's do it. After I make the gnocchi, I'm going to divide this in two recipes. I'm going to make the gnocchi, and then I'm also going to show you how to incorporate that gnocchi into a saffron cream sauce with some sauteed halibut. I'm hoping that that color from the purple potatoes and the saffron cream, which should be a rich yellow color, will just look fantastic on a plate with the sauteed halibut. Okay. The little purple potatoes are done, so I'm going to take those out and let those cool off a little bit. Again, you want to peel them and mash them while they're still pretty hot though. And these Yukon Golds are going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to turn down the oven because I'm assuming this is going to take about 20 minutes for me to turn these into gnocchi. Then I'll work on the other Yukon Gold potatoes. Okay, now the potatoes are fairly hot. I peel them and rice them. So I'm just using a sharp paring knife to get off the skin. This is one of those steps that you don't want to pause. In other words, say you're baking your potatoes, you don't want to say, oh, okay, I baked them, I'll put them in the refrigerator and I'll mash them tomorrow. It's very important to mash your potatoes while they're still at least warm from the oven. Now on to the important step of ricing the potatoes. I have this ricer I'm going to use. This one works great for gnocchi, but whatever you do, don't put it in a food processor. Spread these out a little bit on my cookie sheet pan because I want that steam to easily be able to come out of the potato. You know, the more surface area you have, the easier it'll be for that steam is not having a lot of water in it. You want to kind of try to get that in evenly. Try to distribute it evenly and gently throughout. I'm not going to put it all in there because you want to use as little as you need to. Now I'm going to put the 10 grams of salt in here. Now I'm putting in half an egg. Then you kind of just want to form it up. And again, just enough to incorporate it all together. You're going to have to work the dough a little bit, but again, as little as you can to get it incorporated is best. That feels pretty good. It's not too sticky to the touch at all. And then you could divide it up. And now I'm just trying to get it to that final half-inch diameter stage. Okay, they're rolled out. Now I'm just going to cut them in about half-inch pieces. A lot of recipes at this stage will choose to put little ridges on their gnocchi on the back of a fork. They'll do a technique sort of like this and press in little round ridges, as you can see there. I think it's a pain in the butt. You know, they say, you know, a little more sauce may cling to it. I find it's very minimal, and it's just to roll each piece, it's just a pain, where so far this process goes fairly smoothly and quick and easy. These aren't sticky at all. These are really nice. You still don't really want them touching because they can become sticky or get stuck to each other. So give them some space. And if they were really sticky, you would incorporate more flour as you're rolling it. I didn't need to do that. They looked like they were really good. Also, you could sprinkle in more flour like onto your cookie sheet pan right now if you felt they were too sticky. Another thing, when I've made gnocchi in the past, if they're getting a little sticky, you could put them in the freezer and that'll like firm them up, and then just go directly from the frozen state or partially frozen state into your boiling water. And now from this point, you could refrigerate these for up to a day. Definitely, you could make this a few hours ahead of time. Don't do this right before you're planning to eat it or your guests are coming over. Now I am going to put these in the refrigerator and make my other batch of gnocchi. This was about 500 grams of potatoes, or about a little over 16 ounces. All right, now I have my Yukon Gold potatoes out. They're still hot to the touch, so I will peel these. And these 2 potatoes are about a pound also, or 500 grams. The same thing, you want to rice these when they're still hot. Try to quarter these up so they fit inside the rice there nicely. Now I'll incorporate the flour, salt, and half an egg into this 500 grams of potato, or about 1 pound of potato. You don't have to use it all. You want to use as little flour as you need to, just to roll it up and so it's not sticky. If it's sticking to your marble countertop or wood countertop, then that's where you kind of might say, okay, a little more flour. Have my 10 grams of salt, my half of an egg. Try to work the flour and your ingredients with as little kneading as possible. And then you could do little tests, like get a little piece of it, see if you could even form one, like a little log of gnocchi. It doesn't feel like that's sticking too much, so I'm probably not gonna add any more flour. Yeah, that looks good. So if it holds up and it's not really sticking to your surface, then no need to add more flour. Form it into one ball or log shape. And that definitely feels a little more tacky than the last batch. And that's why it's great working with your hands. You get that tactile sensation to be able to tell how much flour you need to add in. So I'm going to divide that up now, 4 pieces. And again, about a 1/2 inch thick. All right, that looks great. And we're good to go. To cook this, you just put it in boiling salted water. When they begin to float, maybe give it another 30 seconds, and they're done. Incorporate it with your favorite tomato sauce, pesto cream sauce, straight pesto. I made a sun-dried tomato pesto on my channel that is delicious with this. Or toss it with a little butter and Parmesan cheese. Oh, there's so many options. As many options as there is with pasta, which is virtually endless. After you boil it, treat it like pasta. It's best to incorporate it into a sauce right away so it doesn't stick and clump up together. You just have it ready so it could go right from your boiling water when it's done floating, strain it, and then put it right into your sauce, toss it, and serve. So that's it for the gnocchi video. I am going to make another video today following up on this, where I'm going to incorporate this with some sauteed halibut and a saffron cream sauce. Really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you. Now go out and cook for someone you love.